Deserts. The very word conjures images of endless sand, shimmering heat, and a sun that beats down without mercy. These are some of the most challenging places on our planet for life to exist. Temperatures can soar to incredible heights during the day, making the ground too hot to touch. Then, when the sun disappears, the heat escapes quickly into the clear night sky, and it can become surprisingly cold. Water, the very essence of life as we know it, is incredibly scarce. It might not rain for months or even years in some of these vast arid landscapes. It seems like an impossible place for anything to grow or thrive. Yet, against all odds, life persists. The desert is not empty. It is a world filled with specialists, with creatures and plants that have developed the most ingenious ways to survive. They have adapted over millions of years to cope with the extreme heat and the desperate lack of water. Every living thing you find here is a master of survival, a testament to the sheer resilience of nature. From the smallest insect hiding beneath a stone to the hardy cactus storing water in its fleshy stem, the desert is a showcase of incredible biological engineering. It is a quiet, subtle world, but one that is full of drama and wonder if you know where to look. Our mission, a fascinating experiment, is to recreate a small piece of this incredible world. We will build our very own miniature desert inside a simple container. We will not be trying to conquer the Sahara or cross the Gobi. Instead, we will bring a tiny slice of that environment into our home, a controlled ecosystem where we can watch the story of life unfold. This project is a journey of discovery. We will become the caretakers of a small, fragile world, observing its inhabitants and learning their secrets over a period of 100 days. It is a challenge, but one that promises to reveal so much about adaptation and survival. This 100-day mini-desert survival challenge is more than just a science project. It is an adventure in a jar. We will see how a community of plants and small creatures can establish itself in a harsh, man-made environment. We will witness their daily struggles, their moments of triumph, and the delicate balance they must maintain to live. It is an opportunity to look closely at a world we often overlook, to appreciate the toughness and beauty of desert life. Let us begin our journey into the heart of our own miniature wilderness and see what secrets the sands have to share with us. Every great world, no matter how small, begins with a strong foundation. For our miniature desert, the first and most important choice is the container itself. A large, clear glass tank, or a wide, deep plastic container is ideal for this purpose. The transparency of the glass, or plastic, is crucial, as it allows us to become silent observers of the world within. We need to see everything, from the roots of the plants pushing through the soil, to the tiniest insects scurrying for cover. The container should also be spacious enough to allow for different zones, a small sandy dune, a rocky outcrop, and open plains, giving our future inhabitants a varied landscape to explore and call home. Once we have our container, the next step is to think about drainage. This is perhaps the most critical element for a successful desert ecosystem. In the wild, rainwater quickly drains through the sandy soil, preventing the roots of desert plants from rotting. We must replicate this process. We start by laying a generous layer of small pebbles, gravel, or broken pottery pieces at the very bottom of our container. This layer creates a space for any excess water to collect, away from the soil and the delicate roots of our plants. It is a simple but vital step that mimics the natural geology of an arid land and prevents our desert from becoming a deadly swamp. On top of our drainage layer, we will place a thin sheet of mesh, or screen. This might seem like a small detail, but its role is significant. The mesh acts as a barrier, preventing the soil from mixing with the pebbles below. It keeps our layers distinct and functional. Without it, the finer sand and soil would eventually wash down into the gravel, clogging the drainage spaces and defeating the purpose of our careful preparation. This simple screen ensures the long-term health of our miniature world, maintaining the structure we have so carefully planned and built for our desert's foundation. Finally, we come to the soil itself, the very ground our desert life will depend on. You cannot simply use soil from a garden, as it holds too much moisture. We need to create a special desert mix. This is typically a combination of sand, perlite, and a small amount of potting soil. The sand provides the classic desert texture and excellent drainage. The perlite, those small, white volcanic glass pebbles, helps to aerate the soil, keeping it loose and light. A small amount of potting soil provides just enough nutrients for our hardy plants to begin their life. This carefully crafted mixture is the final piece of our foundation, ready to support life in our miniature world. With our foundation layers in place, the creative part of our project truly begins. Now we become landscape architects, shaping the terrain of our miniature desert. We will not just dump the soil mix in, we will sculpt it. Using our hands or a small trowel, we can create gentle slopes, rolling dunes, and flat plains. We might want to build up one side of the container to be higher than the other, creating a small hill. This variation in topography is not just for looks, it creates different microclimates within our small world. The top of a sandy hill will be drier and receive more light, while the lower areas might retain a tiny bit more moisture. Next, we introduce the larger features of our landscape, the rocks and wood. These elements are essential for creating a realistic and functional desert habitat. We can choose a few interesting-looking rocks of various sizes. A large flat rock can serve as a basking spot, absorbing heat from the lamp and providing a warm place for any small creatures we might add later. Smaller rocks can be arranged to create little caves or crevices, offering shelter from the intense light and heat. A piece of gnarled, sun-bleached driftwood can add a dramatic sculptural element, mimicking a long dead tree and providing climbing structures for our desert dwellers. Now that the main structures are in place, we can add the final touches to our desert scene. This is where we can add finer details that bring our world to life. We can sprinkle a thin layer of fine, light-colored sand over certain areas to create the look of windswept dunes. We can place tiny pebbles around the base of our larger rocks to make them look more natural, as if they have been there for a very long time. This is a chance to be artistic and imagine what a real desert landscape looks like on a small scale. Every detail adds to the realism and complexity of the habitat we are building. The final step in constructing our physical world is to consider the sky, or rather, our substitute for the sun. A desert needs intense light and warmth. We will position a heat lamp, or a full-spectrum lamp above the container. This lamp will serve two purposes. It will provide the light that our desert plants need for photosynthesis, the process they use to create food. It will also provide the warmth that defines a desert environment, heating the sand and rocks and creating the temperature gradient that is so crucial for the survival strategies of desert life. Our world is now built, a silent, sandy stage waiting for its actors to arrive. The stage is set. Our miniature desert awaits its inhabitants. Choosing the right plants and animals is a critical step. We cannot simply place any organism into this environment and hope for the best. We must select species that are already adapted to hot, dry conditions. These are the specialists, the survivors that have evolved to thrive where others would perish. For plants, we look to the world of succulents. These incredible plants have thick, fleshy leaves or stems that are designed to store water. They are living reservoirs, holding on to precious moisture for long, dry periods. Their waxy skin helps to reduce water loss through evaporation. Among the succulents, cacti are the most iconic desert plants. We could choose a small barrel cactus with its round, ribbed shape, or perhaps a prickly pear known for its flat, paddle-like pads. Another excellent choice is the group of plants known as living stones, or lithops. These strange and wonderful plants look exactly like small pebbles, a clever camouflage to avoid being eaten. They are extremely drought-tolerant and add a touch of mystery to our desert floor. Aloe vera, with its soothing gel-filled leaves, is another hardy candidate that is well-suited to our miniature ecosystem. These plants are not just decorations, they are the primary producers of our world. When considering animals for our mini desert, we must think small and be responsible. The most suitable inhabitants are small invertebrates that are naturally found in arid regions. Darkling beetles, often called desert beetles, are an excellent choice. These hardy insects are masters of survival. They are detritivores, meaning they will feed on any decaying plant matter, helping to keep the ecosystem clean. They are also known for their fascinating behaviors, such as climbing to high points to collect morning dew on their bodies. A small colony of these beetles can add a great deal of activity and interest to our desert scene. Another potential inhabitant is a small, captive-bred species of desert scorpion, or a sun spider, but these require very specific care, and should only be considered by those with experience. A much safer and simpler option is to introduce a colony of isopods, commonly known as Raleigh-pollies, or pillbugs. While many species prefer damp conditions, Certain types are adapted to drier environments. These small crustaceans are also excellent decomposers, burrowing into the soil and helping to break down waste. They will spend much of their time hidden, but their presence is vital for the long-term health and balance of our miniature world soil. The day has come to populate our miniature world. We begin with the plants. Planting our succulents requires a gentle touch. We carefully remove them from their nursery pots, lightly dusting off the old soil from their roots. Using a small spoon or, just our fingers, we dig a small hole in our prepared desert soil mix. We then place the plant into the hole, making sure its roots have enough space to spread out. We gently backfill the hole, pressing the soil lightly around the base of the plant to make sure it is stable. We will space our plants out, giving them room to grow and creating a more natural-looking landscape. We must arrange the plants thoughtfully, considering their individual needs. Some succulents might prefer the brighter, hotter area directly under our heat lamp, while others might appreciate a little bit of shade provided by a larger rock or a piece of driftwood. For example, the sun-loving prickly pear cactus would be happy in the brightest spot, while a haworthia with its beautiful striped leaves might do better in a slightly less intense light. This careful placement adds another layer of complexity to our ecosystem, creating different niches for our inhabitants. Once all the plants are in place, our desert starts to look truly alive. After the plants have had a day or two to settle in, it is time to introduce our chosen creatures. If we have selected darkling beetles, we can simply place them gently onto the sandy surface. They will immediately begin to explore their new home. We might watch as one burrows into the sand to escape the heat, while another investigates the base of a succulent. Their movements bring a new dynamic to the terrarium, transforming it from a static diorama into a living, breathing world. Watching them navigate the terrain we have built is, honestly, one of the first rewards of our careful preparation and planning for this project. Once the beetles are introduced, we give the entire ecosystem a very light initial watering. This is not a drenching, but a gentle misting or a few carefully placed drops of water near the base of each plant. This initial drink helps the plants settle their roots and provides a bit of moisture for the beetles to find. It is the first rain our desert will receive. From this moment on, the 100-day clock starts ticking. Our role now shifts from architect to caretaker and observer. The ecosystem is complete, the story has begun, and we are here to witness it all unfold. Our 100-day survival challenge is now underway. Caring for our mini-desert is a delicate balancing act really, a lesson in less is more. The biggest mistake we could make is to overcare for it, especially with water. So for the first week, we will do nothing but observe. We'll turn the heat lamp on for about 10 to 12 hours each day to simulate a desert day-night cycle. At night we turn it off, allowing the temperature to drop naturally. This daily cycle is critical for the health of both the plants and the animals. We'll watch how the beetles react to the light and heat, and how the plants look under the artificial sun. Watering is the most crucial and infrequent task. We won't water on a fixed schedule. Instead, we'll learn to read the signs. We'll check the soil every few days by touching it. It should be bone dry for most of the time. We'll only water our desert once every 2 to 3 weeks, and even then, very sparingly. We'll use a small syringe or a dropper to give each plant a small amount of water directly at its base. This mimics a rare desert rain shower. Overwatering is the fastest way to kill desert plants, as it leads to root rot. So we must always be cautious. Beyond watering, our daily care involves simple maintenance and observation. We'll keep a journal to log our observations. What are the beetles doing today? Are they burrowing, climbing, or basking? Have any of the succulents shown signs of new growth? Maybe a new leaf is emerging, or a cactus seems slightly plumper after a watering. We'll also need to provide a small amount of food for our darkling beetles every week or so. A tiny piece of carrot or a few fish flakes is sufficient. This supplements their diet of decaying plant matter and ensures they remain healthy. As the weeks pass, our role becomes that of a scientist. Around day 50, halfway through our challenge, we'll perform a more detailed checkup. We'll inspect the plants for any signs of stress, like shriveled leaves, which indicate thirst, or mushy stems, which mean too much water. We'll count our beetles to see if the colony is stable. We'll gently stir a small patch of the substrate to check on the hidden life, like the isopods, if we added them. This midpoint assessment helps us understand the health of our ecosystem and make any small adjustments needed to ensure it thrives for the remaining 50 days. The first few weeks of our 100-day watch were a time of quiet settling. The succulents, initially looking a little shocked from being replanted, began to firm up. One of the echeveria plants, which we had placed in a sunny spot, started to show a beautiful reddish tinge on the edges of its leaves, a sign of it happily sunning itself. The darkling beetles established their routines quickly. During the day, under the heat of the lamp, they were less active, often hiding under the driftwood or burrowing just beneath the sand's surface to escape the most intense heat. This was a perfect demonstration of thermoregulation, a key desert survival strategy. As we moved towards day 30, we noticed the beetles became most active during the dusk and dawn periods, just after the lamp turned on and just before it turned off. This crepuscular behavior was fascinating to watch. They would emerge from their hiding spots and march across their sandy world, exploring every nook and cranny. We observed them climbing the rocks and even attempting to scale the smooth glass walls of their enclosure. One surprising observation was their interaction with the plants. They seemed to completely ignore the living succulents, confirming they were not a threat to our desert flora, focusing instead on tiny bits of organic debris. A wonderful surprise occurred around day 60. We noticed that one of the Haworthia plants, tucked away in a slightly shadier corner, had sent up a long, thin stalk. Over the next week, this stalk grew taller and taller, eventually producing a delicate, small white flower. It was a beautiful and unexpected event. In our harsh, controlled desert, life was not just surviving, it was thriving enough to reproduce. This single flower was a symbol of the ecosystem's success. It showed that with the right balance of light, heat, and minimal water, even a miniature world can flourish and display the full cycle of life. The social dynamics of the darkling beetles also provided endless fascination. We would sometimes see two beetles engaging in what looked like a wrestling match, pushing each other with their heads, perhaps competing for a prime hiding spot or a piece of food. We also noticed that they often congregated in the same area to rest, huddling together under a particular rock. This behavior might help them conserve moisture. These small dramas, played out on a stage of sand, turned our scientific observation into a daily soap opera, reminding us that even the smallest creatures have complex lives and behaviors worth watching. Not everything in our 100-day challenge went perfectly, and honestly, these challenges were valuable learning experiences. Around day 40, we encountered our first major problem. We noticed a fine web-like substance appearing on one of our succulents, and the plant itself looked unwell. Upon closer inspection with a magnifying glass, we discovered a tiny infestation of spider mites. These minuscule pests thrive in warm, dry conditions, exactly the environment we had created. They were sucking the life out of the plant. This was a reminder that an ecosystem, even a closed one, is vulnerable to pests and diseases that can upset its delicate balance. To deal with the spider mites, we had to intervene carefully. We did not want to use harsh chemical pesticides that could harm the beetles or the other plants. Instead, we chose a gentle approach. We dipped a cotton swab in a small amount of rubbing alcohol and painstakingly wiped the mites off the affected plant's leaves. We then isolated the plant by moving it to a separate container for a week to ensure the infestation was gone before returning it. This incident taught us the importance of regular, close inspection and the need for gentle, targeted solutions when problems arise in a sensitive ecosystem. Another challenge arose from our own actions. After a particularly long stretch without water, we became worried and gave the desert a slightly more generous watering than usual around day 75. A week later, we noticed the base of one of our livingstone plants had turned soft and mushy. We had fallen into the classic trap of overwatering. The plant's roots had rotted from the excess moisture. Sadly, the plant could not be saved. It was a harsh but effective lesson in the primary rule of desert care. When in doubt, do not water. The death of this plant was a stark reminder of how fine the line is between life and death in an arid environment. Towards the end of our 100 days, we also noticed a change in the beetle population. We found that a few of the older beetles had died of natural causes. This was not a failure but a natural part of the life cycle. Their bodies were quickly discovered by the other beetles and the isopods, who began the process of decomposition. This was the circle of life in action. The death of a few individuals provided nutrients that would eventually be broken down and returned to the soil, supporting the ecosystem as a whole. It was a powerful, first-hand look at how nothing is wasted in nature, and how death plays a vital role in sustaining life. As our 100-day journey comes to a close, we look upon our miniature desert with a new sense of understanding and respect. This small glass box has been a powerful teacher. The most profound lesson it taught us is the art of adaptation. Every living thing inside, from the water-hoarding succulents to the heat-avoiding beetles, was a master of survival. They did not just endure the harsh conditions we created, they were perfectly designed for them. We learned that survival in the desert is not about brute force, but about clever strategies, storing water, avoiding heat, and conserving energy. It is a world of incredible efficiency. We also learned about the fragility and resilience of an ecosystem. Our experience with the spider mites and the overwatered plant showed us how easily the balance can be tipped. A small mistake or an unforeseen invader can have big consequences. Yet, we also saw the ecosystem's ability to recover. The other plants continued to thrive, the beetles adjusted, and the process of decomposition took care of the fallen. This miniature world demonstrated that ecosystems are dynamic systems, constantly changing and adapting. They are not static, but are in a perpetual state of flux, balancing life, death, growth, and decay. This project changed our perspective on deserts. Before, we might have seen them as empty, barren wastelands. Now, we see them as vibrant places, teeming with life, and full of complex interactions. We've learned to appreciate the subtle beauty of a cactus, the fascinating behavior of a simple beetle, and the incredible patience of plants that can wait weeks for a single drop of water. Our mini desert taught us to look closer and to find wonder in places we might have otherwise ignored. The desert's value is not in its abundance, but in the preciousness and ingenuity of the life it supports. Finally, our 100 days as caretakers taught us a lesson in humility. We were the creators of this world, but we were not its masters. Our role was to provide the right conditions, and then step back and let nature take its course. We learned to observe, to be patient, and to intervene only with the greatest care. In a world where we often try to control nature, this project was an exercise in cooperation with it. The echoes from our small sea of sand will stay with us, a constant reminder of the incredible, resilient, and beautiful story of life on our planet, even in its harshest corners.